It's a new day, and a new Motortown update was just released for public testing. It comes with amazing new vehicles, features, goods and industries, as well as with many bug fixes and small improvements. And in this video, I will cover everything you need to know about Motortown Update 0.7.12. Welcome to Motortown Hub Update Overview. A lot of things in this update are interconnected, so instead of having clean separate sections, I had to combine some of the different topics together for more context. The highlight of the update is a new steel mill, which is located at the southeast of OG Island. This is a large industrial complex, and it introduces several new things at once, so let's take a look at them one by one. First things first, to produce steel products you will need three kinds of raw materials: limestone, coal, and iron ore. Limestone and coal have been available on the map for quite some time already, but iron ore is a brand new raw material. To produce iron ore, a new mine was added to the map, and it is located roughly at the same area as the old coal mine. Be warned that iron ore has a randomized weight value and can be extremely heavy, so taking a full load down the off-road trail might prove difficult. Luckily, a new alternative place to get iron ore and coal was added at Dasa Harbor. This new importing facility is very accessible, removing the need to endure the off-road trail, and it also means that you can now use company trucks to pick up coal and iron ore from here. The steel mill will require a large amount of coal to function, so this new facility will be vital for the supply chain. The only downside of this new area is a slow production speed, so be careful not to overwhelm it with demand. Another important addition to the iron ore and coal supply chain is a new storage facility just outside the Guangjing off-road area. Now you can do the difficult off-road trip yourself and drop off your load here, so you can switch for a highway truck, or maybe let your company vehicles take it from here. To help us transport all these raw materials to the steel mill, let me introduce you to a new vehicle, Atlas Dump Truck. This 8x4 monster comes with an incredible capacity of 17 units and will make transporting any dump cargo a breeze. Lovers of the off-road coal runs can rejoice, because despite much larger capacity, the truck can still handle them with no issues. Iron ore, however, might be a different story due to its extremely heavy weight. You can find Atlas Dump Truck at the Ghost and Truck dealership, and it comes with new custom wheels, front bumper customization, and options to install extra fuel tanks or item storage. Now let's return to the steel mill. It produces two new goods, H-beams and steel coils. Be aware that the production chains are separate, and you will have to choose the correct drop-off point to produce the correct goods. So pay extra attention to the destination when you pick up the cargo, and especially when using company vehicles, since the points are close to each other and easy to mix up. H-beams are pretty straightforward. You can load 4 of them on a flatbed trailer, and they can be delivered to Jeju or Dasa Harbor to be exported. Steel coils are very different though. This is the first cargo in the game that cannot be automatically loaded. They have to be loaded manually, piece by piece. And to help us with that, we got a special new vehicle. Meet the Vulcan. This is the first ever forklift in the game, and something we've all been very excited about. It has an incredible turning radius, and not only can you control the lift of the fork, you can also tilt it up and down to help with manipulation. For now, its only purpose is to work with steel coils, but let's hope that in the future, there will be more uses for it. Forklift is something that the community has been asking for ages, and this might just be a first step towards something much greater. Currently, you will not be able to purchase Vulcan for yourself, and the only way to get it is to rent it at a steel mill. Also, there is no additional reward for manual loading, but as the testing goes on and the forklift mechanics are improved, everything will likely change. When you have some steel coils produced, you can spawn them at the loading bay and use the Vulcan to load them onto the flatbed trailer. Coils are extremely heavy, coming at 14 tons apiece, so the way you distribute them on the trailer is paramount. And just like H-beams, coils can be delivered to Dasa or Jeju Harbor. Additionally, you can now deliver steel coils to the Ansan race car factory. The production chain for Formula SCM has been changed, and the coil is now required to produce the vehicle. Good news is that a small box, which was almost impossible to find, is not needed anymore. And since we are talking about some heavy cargo, another small but very important change happened to the effect overloading has on tire wear. Now the effect is much stronger and you will risk blowing up your tires if you overload your vehicle too much. This should cover most important information about the steel mill and everything related to it. So let's take a look at the rest of new vehicles. Atlas family got even bigger with the addition of an Atlas semi-truck, and there are 3 variants of them available: 4x2, 6x4, and 6x2 with a lift axle. And as a cherry on top, each semi-truck has special roof parts to make it more streamlined. As usual, you will find them at Gosan Truck Dealership. 6x4 and 6x2 models look almost identical and could be difficult to tell apart, so double check the name of the model before making a purchase. Last but not least, this is Olby. This new flatbed is a welcome addition to the family of small semi-trailers, great for use with Jamusi Semi and SRT, and it will allow for new ways to transport flatbed cargo. It can be found at Mejiam Warehouse, next to the rest of small trailers. This is all for new vehicles, and the next new feature is a personal favorite of mine, an updated attachment system. Instead of placing it with a mouse and hoping for the best, we now have a very precise control over every coordinate of every attachment. Just place a new attachment on the vehicle or interact with an already existing one, and a new window will open. Here you will be able to scroll between attachments, control the position and the rotation of each of them, and select the light mode from a convenient menu. All the distances are measured from the center of the vehicle, so making things symmetrical is now easier than ever. And don't forget to save the changes you've made, or they will be reset. When placing new attachments, they will now snap to the angle of the surface you placed them on, giving you a better place to start. And there is also a new type of attachment added to the game, a marker light, which will be great to add more detail to some trucks and trailers, and could also make a cool turn signal. Some extremely useful features were added to the join menu of the game. You can now filter servers by the type, version, and password protection, and you can also use a search bar to look for a specific server. Lastly, you can favorite a server, and it will always be shown on top of the list. All these changes make browsing servers a much more pleasant activity. This should cover most of the big news in the update, so now let's quickly go through some smaller changes and important fixes. Christmas is over, so Santa's cabin is now closed until next year, and the roads are clear from the ghosts. A lot of optimization work has been done to reduce the CPU demand, so performance on the dedicated servers should improve. Also, new security measures to combat hacking and cheating in multiplayer were implemented. Some road surfaces were updated with more detailed experimental textures, so make sure to give some feedback about how you like them. If you play with the steering wheel and suffer from force feedback shaking, the new update should fix it. Coal Mine now has a parking lot next to it, meaning that you don't have to drive there anymore. You can just use your campy and then summon a truck right there. Headlights now have a very nice fade in and fade out animation when you turn them on and off. If you are using a 13 or 18 speed gearbox, auto shift can now change gears when reversing. Ability to change the field of view on your rear view mirrors was added, and you will find it in the mirrors adjustment menu. Lastly, tires for truck dual wheels have received an increased maximum load rating, making them more resistant to wear when overloaded. There are many more smaller changes and fixes in that update, and I can't fit everything into this video, so make sure to read the complete changelog if you want to know all of them. If by the time you watch this video, the update is not public yet, you can go to the game properties on Steam and open the betas menu. There you will find a test branch of the game, which allows you to experience a public test build earlier. And your feedback will be extremely helpful for the developer, but make sure to back up your save file just in case. You could also just wait for the official release and make as much use of Santa's cabin as possible while it lasts. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments section below. Have fun with the new update, and I will see you all behind the wheel.